Internet, welcome to Popcorn Chicken. Grab a drink. We're going to talk about some Star Wars stuff, and it's probably going to get spicy because I know one of us really didn't like it. So we're going to talk about Andor, the episode that came out yesterday. Is it number 9? Yes, I know because I just wrote the title. Anyway, we're going to talk about Andor, episode 9. Here's Alvin. And here's Nathan.
Hello there.
Elvin, come on, wake up. Here, boy.
Is the show over?
There you
Andor's
go.
over?
No, we just started.
This show's on. Okay, I thought Andor's still
Yes.
on. I needed a good sleep, so I put it back on again.
As always, our penultimate. I don't know.
Let's crack open a drink, gents.
We got Omar in here.
Oh
What's
my
up?
god, how do you get that? That's the Rock's drink.
Yeah, it's available now in Canada on Amazon.
Is it really? How is
Amazon. I delivered to our studio. So if you come to our studio ever, Nathan, there's about 100 of these in this fridge.
You don't want me there right now.
No. I didn't say that.
Oh, somebody brought show and tell.
You're
Speaking
pregnant?
of-
Congratulations, Nathan.
Speaking of things that are dead, in spirit of today,
How do you go from pregnancy to death?
Pregnancy?
got
This is not
COVID.
a pregnancy.
it was a COVID joke.
Okay.
Speaking
Oh
of-
wow.
speaking-
Okay. I'm not
Can
involved in
you
that
fucking?
conversation.
Can you stop walking all over my fucking punchlines? Speaking of dead things, in the spirit of De Los Muerte, which is today, I'm drinking a Modelo.
Hey,
Oh my goodness.
Jesus
De Los Muerte.
Christ.
Is that how you say it?
De Los Muerte.
We'll say that to Omar.
Yeah, Omar. Sorry about all your dead family.
What the hell? Cowabunga says this Andor show's still on. Yes. Oh, this is
Nathan,
such a
I'm excited that you are here.
This is such a divide. So, okay, before we begin, I just want to say I went on Twitter. I went on Instagram. I
went on
went
the
pretty much
internet?
everywhere I could go to see what people are talking about. Like, what are they saying about this show? And it's such a
Mhm.
divide.
It is. It is.
It's crazy. Such a divide.
I'm excited about that. Honestly, that makes me happy.
Yeah.
Because it is such a divisive show. Yeah, we're gonna need a
Sorry about
cough counter.
Yeah, I'll mute myself every time it's coming on.
Do you have a mute button?
I do.
So press the mute button when you're coughing. Well, don't press it now when you're talking.
Yeah, no. Next
Stop
one.
number one.
So yeah, this has been a very divisive show. And it's, I mean, which is a good thing because it's better than it just being shit, which is what we're used to. And people like having to make excuses and be like, no, actually, it is a good show, or having to make excuses for yourself and being like, there's a good show in there
somewhere.
I just don't know where it is yet. So I'm gonna kind of go on to the side of Elvin for a bit here, because I know why you don't like it, and I understand. And I'm going to validate your feelings, and I'm going to say your feelings and thoughts are valid, Elvin.
And then you're gonna crush it after with some positivity.
No.
You're the chicken leg finally.
Yeah, I'm the chicken legs now.
Why does it say?
Yeah, Star Wars fans usually
and
agree
Nathan.
on
It says
everything,
and
right?
Nathan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually we
Always.
agree on how much we dislike the sequels.
Yeah. Wait, do I still have the where did that go? I'm so proud of. Did I delete it already? Yeah, I think I did.
Gosh,
Hi guys.
that is the size of a small child.
It is the world's largest Marvel Legends figure.
Yeah, the thing is intense.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
So yes, we can normally agree that things are shit.
Mhm.
Elvin, I understand why you don't like this episode. It is absolutely a continuation of what happened last week.
Oh, somebody asked me a question here. Sorry. Rasper, Alvin, where are the rest? We should ask Hasbro that because they sent me an email saying, we'll send you one, but we'll send the other ones at a later date.
How many did you get again?
Okay, I'm not answering this because they were asking me this in the chat on Monday, and I'm not answering it.
You said it in the video.
I did?
You did.
Okay, well, then they have to go watch the video to find out.
I guess
There we go.
so. Yeah, you did mention. Oh, by the way, I opened the bottle with
Is that
one.
nice?
You know what I also said in the Monday chat, which floored a lot of people, is I said I'm going to give one of these Galactus away.
You're fucking crazy.
But I said we have to hit 50,000 subscribers.
Oh, okay, sure.
So get to work, people.
Yeah. Do you want a Galactus?
And I want it in a time frame of less than 2 years.
3 days. Don't fuck around.
I think 2 years from the day I said it. So I said
Sure.
it what? November. Let's say November 1st. I said of 2022.
Let's
So
let's pick an objective that's harder to reach than that. We'll wait until we get to a show where Elvin gives it a 10 out of 10.
Oh, jeez. COVID's really hitting you hard, huh?
The sass is coming out.
I've never given a show 10 out of 10, I think. I've given a video game 10 out of 10.
What's the
Sure.
closest you've given a show a 10 out of 10? Any show?
I think I have given it something a 10 out of 10. I have to
was
go to the
gonna say-
archives and take a look what I did. But
Yeah.
I've given 9s. I've given 9.5s. I know that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've given a 10 to something. I think the Avengers Endgame was the only thing I gave 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I don't think you've given
Really?
anything on Popcorn Chicken.
No.
Anything a 9 or a 10.
Mhm. Sure.
Okay.
So
Hey!
this was
at
Dio's
Dio.
here too. Little man, look, what's that? Who's that? Who is that?
That Galactus will decompose before then.
No, it's made of real plastic. It'll
Who's that?
last forever.
Who is that? Yeah, it'll
Can't recycle
kill
plastic.
it'll kill sea turtles.
Yeah.
So this episode was very much a continuation of last week. And my one problem that I've had with this show, the only problem really that I've had with this show is that Disney is in a weird spot where they want to do episodic content, but our brains are not wired for that anymore. Us as a human race are not used to waiting 7 days to have something resolve or build. So
Blame Netflix.
if
for
this
that.
yeah, absolutely. And I'm not saying it's a good or bad thing. I'm just saying this is the times we live in. And Disney, I would
We want
say,
it now. We want it now.
yes, very much. And so having 2 episodes of build up, which just to jump ahead a bit, I thought the build up and the tension in this was amazing. I loved also too, Star Wars, especially TV shows, has had a fucking issue with being concise and having a mood transfer and thoughts and fucking story arcs transfer between episodes. Like we've had shows where it's just like, this episode's about this. Hey, remember that thing that we talked about? And you're like, yeah, I remember that thing. And they're like, we don't. Anyway, next thing. And then they just go on to something else. And then 7 episodes later, they'd be like, oh yeah, this thing. Oh yeah, that's actually important. And we're like, fuck. So the fact that they are able to, oh,
Bless his heart. He's such a liar.
The fact that they are able to go from episode to episode and continue a story and continue and almost feel like you haven't missed anything and you're just continuing where you left off is a great thing. That being said, that shouldn't be impressive because they are a multi-fucking billion-dollar company who has been doing entertainment and TV and shows for 100 years now. So the fact that I'm having to be like, they can tell a story, it's like, that's fucking stupid. But I understand why you are bored with this because it has literally been 2 episodes of build-up. But it is the calm before the storm, and I loved how the last episode started, it was like he's in prison. Mon Mothma's trying to find money. Stellan Skarsgård's Luthen is trying to, he's going to all these different rebel cells, and Cyril is starting to like push some buttons for the Imperials, and I love the fact that they are showing discourse and problems within each of these different areas, because Star Wars, in my opinion, has always been like, oh, good will prevail, there's always hope, and I'm loving seeing every different faction being uncomfortable and not being perfect and not being, oh, they win because they're the good guys. I'm loving seeing Mon Mothma panicking because she might get found by the fucking IRS. And I love seeing Cyril like losing his mind and like kind of going crazy, and we're like, oh, he's like putting off like school shooter vibes here, and the Empire doesn't want anything to do with him. And like, even though he's like, I want justice and yay for the Empire, they're still like, dude, fuck off. Like,
I still believe he's going to be a suicide bomber in there.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
I still believe
like,
that's his end game right there. He's going to blow up a building.
He's going postal. I honestly, it's getting into that thing a bit more. I don't think he's gonna like shack up with the Imperials or the ISB or anything. I think he's gonna go rogue and just fucking like find Andor and then die and do nothing.
Read what Cowabunga Dude said.
Well, what show would that be? I'm curious.
Not this one, but
Cowabunga Dude's here for
okay, before we begin, we should kind of get through this this episode, but what's the show that we want to do next after Andor?
When is
well, we have the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special, which I don't know. I think it's just going to be a one-hit movie.
Yeah,
I don't think it's going to be a show. Oh, you know what? Willow. There you go.
Fuck it. I'll
watch Willow. I know nothing about Willow, but I'll be invested in it. It'll probably be woke. It'll probably be woke, but I'm in.
Hey, what's it on? What does it stream on?
Don't worry. We'll find
Disney
a way to
Plus.
watch it.
Is it Disney Plus?
I'm almost positive. They have
it
the
is.
original
It is
on,
Disney Plus. Yeah, it is.
They have the original on Disney Plus right now.
Yeah. It's gonna be
Who
woke
made
as hell.
Willow?
Jonathan Willow.
Oh, yeah. Good old J Will.
I have no idea.
Anyway. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So let's get into the show. We got Bix.
Yep.
She's getting tortured, or she's
I
about
love
to
the torture scene. Yep.
She's about to get tortured. She's hot as hell, and I mean in the temperature sake, and in the beauty sake. Ron Howard.
Oh, it's a Ron Howard movie. Okay. That makes sense.
Oh, Omar calls it Willow making a comeback.
Sure. Nobody gave a shit about the
let's
movie.
Let's all watch Willow, and we'll all talk about it on Popcorn Chicken. Done.
Sure. Talking about Willow next.
Yeah. How far we have fallen.
Fucking say that.
All right. Anyway, so she's getting tortured, or about to get tortured by Deidre. She comes in the room there. She gives them all her spiel. Like, tell me all the stuff now. If you don't, shit's gonna get sideways, and it's gonna get sideways real fast.
And then she was like, "You're not even gonna believe me," and she was just like, "No."
So obviously, she's like, she's not gonna tell anything, right? We all know that.
Well, she kind of is. Like,
is she?
Because, well, like, and
she did give up the fact that she knows him, right?
Well, I mean, and this is another thing too. The let's call it the girlfriend of the friend of our main character. Normally in these types of shows, they would be like, "I'll never tell. No, you'll never break me." And she's just like, "I didn't do that." And like, she's not a freedom fighter. She is just a scavenger. And so she's not like all mightier than or holier than thou or whatever. She is like telling them information. But she's not like, she's not on a crusade. She doesn't have anything to gain from this. She's not protecting anyone. She's just like, I don't even know where the fuck he is. And they're trying to find information on Axis or Luthen, and she's just like, I've met him a few times, and she's like, you have a relationship. She's like, I straight up don't. I sold him some shit. I don't even know his name. and that's why she was like, you're not even gonna believe me, are you? And she's like, no, I'm just gonna make you hear the screams of this alien children dying, and that will drive you insane. I loved the fact that they didn't let us know what it sounded like. So like it made our imagination fill in the blanks of just like the horrors that she was listening to. And they did a very good job of describing it enough that you just saw her face and you're just like, ooh. And then too, they 100% did a shot reference from when Princess Leia was being tortured. When the door closes and the camera looks down and then it looks at the feet, it was like a shot for shot remake of that clip from Empire, which I thought was a really cool callback.
Are you sure it's not the people screaming when they saw the latest trilogy? Did they not get the sound bites from the theaters from that trilogy?
Do I not have?
I could have sworn that's what I heard. A screaming of people.
I don't have. I need to put a fucking tish on my stream deck here.
No, they're actually just making her listen to the
last episodes of show.
Yeah, they're just the
horror.
New Coldplay record just got put onto her iPhone.
Nickelback.
Imagine Dragons. Whoever.
It's just the Rey Skywalker line over and over and over again.
Yeah,
that's enough to drive anyone crazy.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So they torture her, and again she's giving him information, like as much as she has.
Yeah.
Then we get to see. Does it go to Cyril next, or does it go to Andor? I think it goes to Andor.
It goes to Andor in the Tesla factory.
So I think we can, because I know Nathan, you're not going to want to stay on too long. We can kind of not gloss over, but just kind of summarize a lot. So essentially, there's three things happening. There's the Mon Mothma meetings. There's the
Tesla factory
with Andor, and then there's the Deidre stuff, and
yes.
They are here. So in the Tesla factory, they're hearing some murmurs of some shit that happened on level 2, and then they all get stopped on their way back to their cabins. Then there's this big power outage, and they're like, "What the fuck?" And I love that Andy Serkis has started. He started off as like, "I'm the manager of this place, and I want to get out of here, and y'all need to listen to me, and y'all need to be, you need to behave so that I can get the fuck out of here." And then Andor starts questioning him and being like, "How many guards do they have?" And he's just like, "Shut the fuck up." And he's like, "Do you think they listen to us? They don't care about us. They've already have electrical floors. Like they've put in all the work. We don't matter to them." And Andy Serkis is like, "No, we have to behave. They're listening." And he's like, "They're not putting in that much effort. Like you are putting in way too much credit to us. Like they don't fucking care about us."
Yeah.
And he's just like, "Whatever." And he's like, he's like, "How many shifts do you have?" And he's like, "I got 40, 200 or whatever." And he's like, "Okay, well, tell me everything you know before you leave." And he's like, "Good night." So like, he's like, "You need to behave so I can get out of here. Don't fuck this up." Then they start hearing like, "Oh, they killed everyone on level 2." And then Andy Serkis is like, "This is a rumor. We don't know shit." And then he talks to the other supervisor and he's like, "What happened?" And he's like, "Engineering told me," or whatever, like they killed them all. And he's just like, "Okay, we still don't know, like we have to behave. We can't." So he's starting to like,
well, he's trying to keep peace, right?
He is, because he's in his mind, he's like, they're getting punished for acting out. So we start acting out. So then he's like, he's starting to get more skeptical about everything. So then he's like, "Okay, we don't know anything. Fucking put your heads down. Don't make trouble."
Correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't Andor tell him to not like?
Yes.
Like, yeah. I think they knew at that stage any sort of outburst from them, any sort of, if it kind of went out there that this rumor had reached them, that they knew very well that they could have also been fried.
Yeah. And then Olaf, Olaf, the old guy, he's got 20 days left or something. He's almost out of retirement. He has a stroke. Then they call the medic in, and it's Andy Serkis and Andor. And then they get a medic who's also a prisoner, because obviously they wouldn't spend money on actually getting a proper doctor in there. So they just get, "Hey, you went to a veterinarian school, right? Yeah, okay, fuck it. You're the new doctor." And then the doctor is just like, "I don't want to know his name." And they're like, "His name's Olaf." He's like, "I don't care. I don't want to know his name." And he just like euthanizes him on the spot pretty much. And then he's like, he looks at the guard and he's like, I need a bag and a cart to get this fucker out of here. And he's like, yeah, they're coming. And he asks him again. And then the guard leaves. And then the doctor's like, oh yeah, they fucked up. They had somebody on level 4 and they accidentally, after he was released, put him on level 2. Then everyone found out. So they killed them all. And then they were just like, so we don't ever get out of here. And then he's like, nope. I'm going to euthanize him, and you will pray for something as good as what he's getting right now. He's not going to feel pain. And then he kills the old guy, and then they go back to their cells. But then after that happens, then Andy Serkis is just like, oh, fuck. And then Andor's like, how many guards? He's like, no more than 12. And he's immediately just like flips the switch, and he's like, we got to get the fuck out of here. Like, now that like the tables have turned and he realizes there's no hope in here and they are all just expendable. And then when they're in the quarters and they were talking before, I can't remember the guy from Rogue One that eventually joins Andor and I guess obviously breaks out with him here. He's just like, yeah, he was right. We're cheaper than droids to build these things, and they can just do whatever to keep us here. So like, yeah,
how are they cheaper than droids? They have to piss, shit, and eat.
Yeah, but
droids need maintenance and power. These guys need
power.
But these guys consume power.
But barely.
But they, I mean, their whole they have to have chambers for these guys, like places for these guys.
Yeah, but that's not so much power. That's just space. And then running lights in the Star Wars universe is like minimal.
Yeah, also the droids would be the same thing.
That's like having a little Tesla that can also turn into a transformer versus just lighting a couple lamps.
And
like, I don't think that's how power works. You can be efficient. You can be efficient. Teslas are efficient.
Okay,
charge less a week. Charge less a week.
You know the Asimo, the Toyota like android robot? What do you think would be cheaper? 100 of those or 100 slaves?
Yeah, but you're talking about something that's happening right now. We're talking about the galaxy that's been advanced for hundreds of years.
It still costs money.
Yeah, but not at
it's
this
cheaper
level. It's
to kidnap people with false crimes, feed them slop that only keeps them alive and keeps them energized, and water, as opposed to hiring people to maintain a bunch of droids. You need to pay licensing.
Hire anybody. These droids are so advanced. Years.
They're not. They need maintenance. They need upkeep. That you have to pay licensing fees for the programming that's on the droids. Yeah, he gets jetpacks and like he's got a bunch of.
Okay, well, let me put it this way.
Keep in mind, you have to have the prisoners anyways for people that commit crimes. The Empire might as well put them to work because they're going to be losing money by keeping them as prisoners. But by putting them to work, at least you minimize that loss compared to having to keep all of these prisoners alive and pay for all that and pay for all these droids, help manufacture goods. It's just cheaper to do it all at once together.
Yeah.
Without the droids.
I disagree.
Well, why do prisons exist? There's so many like not accidental.
You can't talk about our society versus Star Wars. It's a different plane.
Sure. No. You're essentially saying what's cheaper, having a car manufacturer, which is just a factory of robots, or prison labor?
Tesla saves a lot of money by having most of its cars fabricated by machines.
Yes, but we have a broken prison system that uses prison labor, which is literally legal slave labor. We have more prisons than we do Tesla factories because Tesla factories cost more to maintain and
prisons make money.
Exactly.
Yeah, but we're talking about efficiency, not making money.
Both.
No, we're not. I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about efficiency. What's more efficient, robots or humans? And I'm saying robots are more efficient because they cost less in the galaxy of Star Wars, not today, right now, in reality.
I would say that no, but I'm saying the costs would be similar. Robots are more advanced, but the price of them would still scale. As they get more advanced, they take more money to maintain and buy. But slave labor is always like prison labor always is.
Labor.
I mean, that's what it is.
Oh man.
it's
Anyway,
Anyway,
the Tesla,
there's
Tesla
a lot
factory.
of real world allegories.
Well, you also skimmed the part where you see Andor go into the washroom and try to file the little tube. I think what is he doing? Kind of cause some sort of CO2 or oxygen,
something.
Maybe something like that.
Well,
maybe
I think a distraction because they were talking to he was talking to the one guy and they were like going, okay, though the lifts aren't electrified, and so that is a safe area. They can't fry us on the lift, and so yeah, there's a lot of people like trying to make escape plans and stuff throughout, and yeah. But I loved the arc.
For me, I none of this is really exciting to me because I know he's going to get out.
Well, yeah,
right? I already know the outcome of what's going to happen to him. That's what I allude to the previous episodes when we're talking about it. Is I don't like prequels because, well, I don't like the amount of prequels we're getting these days. Is because I know the outcomes for a lot of these people. If I already know the outcome of my main characters, it automatically reduces in terms of my overall point for an episode, because I already know what's gonna happen really to the main character. So why am I invested so much in this? I don't care about the side characters as much.
Right. I thought the same thing going into Rogue One, and again that turned into one of my favorite Star Wars things. But no, saying that and knowing what you know about the first 6 episodes, where you were saying a similar thing before the bank heist. You were like, I know he gets out. Was the bank heist not a fucking awesome action scene and a great payoff?
The scene itself was, I gave it a good mark that episode because of the scene itself. And it wasn't nothing to do with the danger of him dying. It was just the pulling of the heist is what I gave this points for, right?
But also you cared about who died, and then there were some twists and turns, like that one guy Andor shooting him at the end. So like what I'm saying is I know what you mean and I understand that. But the heist mission, those 2 episodes before were totally worth and needed for the heist mission, for me to care about the heist mission, because all the people that he went into the heist mission with, when one of them died and they brilliantly just like, oh, he's dead, and then went on to the next thing, I was like, oh fuck, whoa, shit, whoa, and it was like on the edge of my seat the whole time. And yes, I know Andor gets out of it okay, and it whatever, but at this point I cared about the entire team. So with the prison break, also the fact that we're getting a bank heist and then a prison break in one season of a show is like, that on its own is pretty fucking cool.
Let Nathan talk because he's been quiet.
Yeah, sorry.
I feel bad.
Well, no worries. I personally find that I get they want to have like the introduction to an issue, the build up, and then a big climax where it's either going to be an escape or or whatnot. But for this, they've really slowed down the pace since we've gotten since the first like 6 episodes. And those episodes, even the ones that were slow and were supposed to build up, still had moments where it like really ramped things up and it had exciting moments. And then the episode right before that, where it set the problem of the scene, I was excited and interested the whole way throughout. For this prison like scenario, the 3 episodes, I think it's 3 episodes. Yeah, 3 episodes of the prison. The first one, which we see him for the first time enter the prison. Sure, it was cool, but like the prison looked interesting, but I didn't really get excited by that. I never thought, oh wow, I can't, how is he going to get out of this? I just thought, okay, he's in prison. I know he'll get out. I'm usually okay with that for prequels. I enjoy the story, but when it comes to a story in a prison, it's very linear. It's not like it could go in a bunch of different directions. It's like, okay, he's going to get out. He might get some people with him. He might not. It won't really matter because he's just going to get out. So I felt the first episode wasn't really a big build up to an issue. The second one didn't really go into too. I know we saw how he was looking at how to escape, and they're building up the idea that you can't actually escape in terms of you wait and you get to leave one day. I think it was Justin who might have guessed that last episode, that they're not actually able to leave. Was it Justin or Alvin?
I don't know.
Someone last week mentioned that no one actually gets out, and that's exactly what happened. So that was kind of the one interesting part of this episode I found. The political stuff, I always love the political side of things, the House of Cards side of things.
Yeah.
But I felt like in order to have that interesting, you have to pair the other storylines that are going on need to be a bit more action oriented, a bit more interesting.
Okay, well,
so that way
let's expand on that then. Let's expand on that. Let's talk about Deidre's storyline in this episode. So she obviously, with Bix in the beginning, she goes and tries to get information out of her, and then she's all back at the office, and then they have their little meeting, and they're talking about narrowing the points, and her case is now becoming stronger and stronger, where more people are actually not listening to her. And then she's got her lackey behind her, who's definitely,
I was going to say,
he's definitely trying to get a promotion.
He stepped on some toes there. Yeah. Right when he walked up and he was like, actually, we did this. And then everyone was like, motherfucker, who are you?
Yeah, you got a gray suit on. Sit them back there.
But that's also just kind of showing like her credibility is now so much so that her underlings, it's not like,
it's not even a question now. Her project's not a question anymore. It's like,
no.
Okay, how do we fund it now? It's more like
exactly. And so like her underlings, when they come to the table with a point, everyone listens. So that kind of speaks to her credibility. And she's like, okay, I think he was related to this. And he was like, he shaved. He didn't have a beard. Everyone said the guy didn't have a beard. And they're like, oh, it sounds good. Cool, okay.
Yeah. Did you notice our boy wasn't there, the one that was against her?
Yeah.
He was not in the meeting.
He was not. He's been put to traffic cop duty now.
Yeah. Auxiliary cop. That's what it is.
Yeah, exactly. But
okay, well, what are you guys' thoughts about Deidre right now in this episode?
Well, there's more to that because they had another meeting about how they got a pilot, and this was who Luthen was trying to get Bukalit
Saul
Guerrera to go meet, because he was planning a job, and so now the Empire accidentally at a fucking road stop checkpoint accidentally had suspicions about this one pilot, and they're
kind of
like,
weird, right?
Tell that guy,
yeah,
and they're just like, he flashed some Imperial and then he fucked off, so they just followed him because they thought it was kind of weird. And it turns out he's a rebel pilot. So now they're starting like this little sting operation where they're like, okay, well, what if we make it look like an accident? We have it float into traffic, and then they find their ship because we don't want to spook him because there's a job going on. So we want to find this. So now we're seeing all the points kind of come together where how Luthen's people and plans are now going to start meshing with Deidre's stuff. So now we're seeing those. I was not expecting to see Luthen and Deidre, their worlds collide before Cyril, and even Andor. I was not expecting him to come into play at all. So they're like, all right, we got the sting operation. We're gonna kill the pilot, make it look like there's an accident, and then have them accidentally find their boy. And so now they're doing this undercover mission, and the doctor that they're using to torture. Yeah,
it would have been nice to have a doctor that we recognize or something from one of the episodes.
I was thinking that today too.
Somebody that we can recognize.
There hasn't been any
cameos.
And
Nathan, what do you think? Missed opportunity to get cameos, or you don't like that?
Well, I'm okay without cameos, to be honest. I find that sometimes they can just be fan service, and so far this show has pretty much avoided it for the most part. Not all, but mostly. I haven't found them doing anything to play up and suck up to fans. So I'm glad about that. So I'm okay
We're gonna
without
get
a
Stan
cameo.
Lee in the next episode.
Oh, that's
Oh God.
he's frozen in the marble. What's it called?
In the carbon.
Oh, Kevin.
He's like, ah.
Spider-Man went that way.
Oh man, that'd be
Oh
awesome.
gosh.
You
Oh,
know,
now
Star
you
Wars
got that
fandom
stuck
will
in my
go
head.
nuts if they see that. They'll go nuts.
Oh yeah.
They'll love it. Oh, that's a good
Gosh.
idea, Disney. You should do that. You can make a whole bunch of figures out of that.
Yeah. But yeah, they
I think-
haven't had any cameos, so maybe they're building
Yeah.
up to like, because again, the next week's episode is going to be the end of this 3 plot, and then the next 2 episodes are going to be essentially like a season finale, part 1, part 2. So we've had 3.
Who do you guys want to see? Who would make you smile showing up in this?
Oh, someone from Rebels, or I don't think they'll do Ahsoka because that seems like like if
Well,
if
remember,
Ahsoka shows up.
There has
Yeah,
been
if-
rumors she might show up.
If
It's too early
Ahsoka
for
shows
them
up,
to bring
I
in a
don't
Jedi.
care.
Do we need a Jedi? I think we do need a
No,
Jedi.
no,
at some
no.
point. No,
I don't want a Jedi for this.
I want a Jedi
I
so
don't.
bad right now. I'm really missing
I-
lightsabers right now, bro.
I
I'm
hope.
it's hurting right now.
I'm thinking.
Harrison
I-
Ford?
No, I think. Honestly, I think.
Nathan would faint. Nathan would faint if Harrison Ford showed up.
Timeline's too messed up for that.
Oh my
But
lord!
I would be down. I would be down
Thrawn?
for the actor who played. What was his name? Eldon. The actor that played the younger Solo in the Solo movie. Because
Yeah.
I did
Oh.
enjoy that
I'm not
movie.
saying it. I'm not saying
I did,
the
yeah.
Harrison. I'm saying what's the name?
Han Solo.
Han Solo will show up. Sorry, yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, because
Maybe.
I would be down
Thrawn?
for that because he's still. Oh, Thrawn could. What is he in intelligence?
Yeah.
Yeah, he might. That might be his big debut. Do you know what? Now that you say that, that really makes me think he will, because fans have been asking for him for a while, and the very last episode
it'd be
or
so-
something like that, they'll probably do it.
Well, because
Having
Ahsoka's the next
Andor,
thing to
having
come out.
Andor cross over to one of the A-list characters in Star Wars would be awesome.
Well, I'm trying to think who.
Just as glancing by, even. Hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
A nod or nice to meet you at a bar, whatever it is. Just a glancing by kind of interaction would be.
Yeah,
That
I'm trying to
would be
think
good.
who-
You know, I would have liked that with Han Solo, like at a cantina, and
Yep.
you just see
Exactly.
Han and Chewbacca. However, now that Justin said Thrawn, I think that because Han Solo and Andor is they're too different. We're gonna have someone that's kind of comedic, suave, and someone that's just pure survival.
Okay,
Thrawn
Thrawn is cool, but he's gonna stick out like a sore thumb because all we get in that room is all humans. We don't get any.
That's
aliens.
Imperials though, through and through.
But
that
isn't
makes sense.
he wearing Imperial outfit?
He is, yes, but okay. So here's what makes sense if Thrawn shows up, and it would be like a borderline end credit scene or like the last shot. It'll be the last episode. Andor gets away, and the ISB has fucked all this up. So then they go, okay, we're getting shut down, and we're getting taken over by Imperial intelligence. And then Thrawn walks in and goes, "All right, let's get to business." And then credits.
Yep, I think that.
But
it'll
he's
work
so
out like
high up that why would he care about IBS?
Because
Start of the
he's
rebellion.
IBS.
See, I was waiting for you guys to get that.
Because the start of the rebellion, like they've put all these pieces together, then they try and do their big mission, and then they fuck it up. So then Big Boy comes in and goes, "Yo, you guys need proper direction.
I don't
I'm
know if
taking
you're
over."
He's a big
Or fucking sideburns.
Sideburns.
From Rebels.
Yeah, if sideburns comes in,
Mutton chops.
mutton chops. If sideburns comes in and does that,
What's his name again?
I think because obviously they fuck up because they're looking for Andor.
The two
they're
people
trying
in
to
the
get
chat, let us know.
Alexander Callis.
Callus,
Agent
somebody
Callis,
Callus.
Agent Callis, yeah.
So
Yeah.
they're looking for Andor. They know who he is, and everyone's looking for him. And
I
there's a
looked
season
up
2,
Star
and
Wars
there's-
sideburns. And he showed up.
and he comes up. they're looking for Andor. Everyone's trying to find him. They know who their bad guy is. They're
That'd be
now
good,
interrogating
yeah.
people.
Does the timeline fit though?
Just
I'm
about.
curious.
Maybe not for Callus, but I think it would for
Because it happened before this.
Rebels. Well,
Yeah.
I think Andor happens, then Solo happens, then Rebels.
Can we see a Leia?
No, she's too young.
Okay,
No,
speaking of
I don't.
okay, so I thought we were gonna see Leia when she said my cousin is coming over, or your cousin's here.
I thought that was going to be Ahsoka, and then
Her cousin?
well, I thought it was just like a ploy.
They're different
not
species.
Actually, I know, not actually related, but it's just
Oh,
like
you
I
mean
thought
like
that was
married
a
in or
code
something?
name,
Oh, I
name
see.
or
Oh,
whatever.
I see what you're saying. Okay, gotcha.
Like
yeah.
you have family here,
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
and that's
I
a code
thought
word
it would be
to
weird
go
to
meet
see an
someone.
alien because I barely see aliens in this show.
Sure, and
It's
then
just-
Vel shows up, and I was
That's
like,
my
oh.
other gripe with this show is the lack of aliens. It's just like
Yeah.
I don't feel this is a Star Wars movie. That's
I completely
or a
get
show.
that. Yeah.
It,
Yeah.
it just feels odd, right? Like just sprinkle me a one or two. Like you show Coruscant, but you barely show any aliens.
And
That
we do see
kind
an
of-
alien as like contact lenses are different.
Make
or
the
something
driver
like
an
that.
alien for God's sakes. The
No,
driver
no.
that takes her around.
Every time we have a dinner, so okay, this kind of makes sense because Imperial intelligence and stuff, they're super racist and they only like humans. So that makes sense why you only see humans. The fact that Thrawn was part of the Imperial Army was a huge fucking deal because he's a Chiss and because they're like, we don't allow non-humans in, like, just period. So that makes sense. Mon Mothma, her dinners, the fact that there are a few aliens,
Yeah.
we do see them, and
Like
that
one or
also
two, yeah.
that also kind of makes sense because it is Coruscant and it is Senate and it is her husband who's whatever. So that also kind of makes sense because she's not wanting, if she constantly just had nothing but aliens around, then people would probably look at her and be like, why are you hanging out with all these non-humans? We should maybe look into you. Oh, you're losing all this money to these
So
donations.
what you're saying is even in Star Wars there's racism.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah. By the way, so
Yeah,
Justin, I agree with you, all the stuff on Coruscant and with the Imperials, but I think there are times on other planets where Andor has been
Yes.
that we should have seen aliens, and they just didn't show that.
The prison, the fact that we don't have any aliens doesn't make sense.
That doesn't make any sense.
On Andor's planet Ferrix, whatever, the fact that there's barely
I think we
any
saw
aliens.
like maybe two of them.
Yeah, there was like some
Remember
rip-off
that big boy?
Jawas.
The big boy.
Yeah. There's some like rip-off Jawas occasionally, and it doesn't make sense that there's not a lot of aliens. I agree there. But all the Coruscant and Imperial stuff, that 100% makes sense and doesn't
His
need to be
girlfriend was an
explained.
alien too, remember? In Cabo.
Was she?
Oh yeah. She was.
Was she green skinned or blue skinned?
I think she
That
was
was-
blue.
Blue, yeah.
Oh.
And it also makes sense not to have any, well, not aliens, I guess, non-humans during the heist because they were trying to dress up as Imperials, and so you don't want to have.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, there's a Wookiee wearing Imperial uniform.
Oh yeah, checks out. Yeah. So like, I would say for half of the time it makes total sense, but for the other half, we should see a lot more aliens. I agree.
So yeah, Deidre's story ends with the big meetup in the middle where Serial, and we'll get into Serial's line of story in a second here, but so he grabs her in the middle of
stalking her.
Yeah, he's stalking her
work.
basically, right? And he is losing his marbles. You can see his eyes diluted, right?
Yep.
And she is like, don't touch me, and I do know who I am. But my issue with Deidre is, why not use the guy? Why not just
because he's fucking unstable?
Yeah, but use him as a pawn.
Honest. So that scene where he waited outside her work and bumped into her and like aggressively grabbed her to thank her, and also I liked the fact that I couldn't tell if he was like in love with her or.
I don't think he's in love with her. I think he's
I know.
bent on trying to get an Andor.
No, absolutely, but it was still just like they did the creepy vibe. Like,
he's creepy, all right.
Where I was like, is he in love with her, or is he just like so married to the job that he's just like, you work for the good people. I love the Empire. Or I love justice. I just love justice. And like, he's like such school shooter vibes. And so there's like, and she tries to threaten him like anyone else would be. She'd be an imposing force, but like he was like, our conversation, and she's like, that wasn't a conversation, I brought you in for fucking questioning. And he's like, yeah, we talked about justice. And it's just like, yo. So I think it's like she tried to like, puff her chest out a bit, and he just like completely disregarded her like arguably threats towards him. She's like, motherfucker, do you know who I am? And he's like, yep, you work for the good people, you want justice, we want the same thing, I love justice. And she starts to threaten him. Yeah, she starts to threaten him, and he just like doesn't even register it. And then she's like, I could have you arrested. And he's like, anyway, talk about this and this and this. So I think it's like half of she feels sorry for him is realizing that he's fucking crazy, and doesn't want him to push any harder. And she knows, and I rewatched the last episode. I didn't realize that when he was putting in all of those fake reports, he was saying that Cassian Andor was an employee of the place that he worked at. He was saying that like, oh, he's missing from the like my department, this Cassian Andor, we need to go look for him. And that's why he started getting all these red flags. He wasn't trying to bring in attention. He was just trying to be like, here's a name that everyone should be looking at, and like just doing crazy shit. And that's why they interrogated him. Then she realized, oh, okay, actually you were part of this, whatever. And he's got like some crazy eyes in the last episode too. And so like he's starting to fucking lose it. And so it's a mixture of her being like, I need you to just back the fuck off. And if I put any pressure, if I push harder on you, you're going to snap and fucking shoot up a place.
I just remembered when you said that, you thought he might be in love with her. I just remembered that moment when he grabbed her hand. I thought she was going to be like, oh, let's go to my apartment.
Yeah.
One of those moments.
Nobody touches me like that.
Yeah, nobody touches me, but I liked it. So let's go to my apartment.
Yeah,
have some drinks.
There's some weird shit happening, and I really
Nathan,
like it.
What'd you think?
I thought she was on the verge of pulling a gun on him, to be honest.
Ooh, okay.
I thought he definitely gave off creepy vibes, and she gave me the impression that like she pities him, but if he keeps pushing this, she's going to have him removed somehow. Yeah. Whether because she's not the sort of person that we clearly see. She's not the sort of person who would be like, oh, he's a sweet guy, his heart's in the right place, but he's just pushing too hard right now. I'm gonna try and push him aside. We know she's the sort of person who'd be like, he's now bothering me, he's getting in my way. I'm gonna get rid of him. There's no issue on my part if I end up having to kill him. I won't get in any trouble at all.
Yeah.
I think he will become a problem at some point, or he will find some information that she overlooked and become useful to them. One of the two.
So he is back at his mom's house. It's a Seinfeld episode all over again. The bowl of cereal just doesn't go away. I cannot believe Disney has not tried to sell a bowl of cereal yet.
Yeah,
like
I love the
get a hold of some of these General Mills, right? Get a hold of them.
Don't they own General Mills or vice versa?
I don't know. They probably own everything. Fuck these days.
I love the fact like that she was just like guilt tripping him, and then she was like,
she's a crafty lady. She's a crafty lady.
She's a fucking gaslighter, like of all gaslighters. And then she was just like, you're ignoring me. And he's just like,
yeah.
Oh my God.
Down the cereal. And then she starts like freaking out on him, and he's just like, I got a promotion. She was just like immediately flips, like, I'm so proud. Your uncle's gonna be so proud. Wow, look at you go.
Yeah. You got a promotion. Look at you.
Good for you, moving up in the world.
Yeah.
I love that dynamic. And but also too,
does he kill his mom?
I think so. I was gonna say, it was like,
does he go psycho like and just slaughter
every
the mom?
Serial killer
because that would set off Star Wars fandom. Because we never had a serial killer like that, right?
Serial killer? Serial
Yeah,
killer?
you got it. You got it. Where is the sound effects, Justin? I'm hot today. I'm on fire.
I know. I'm sorry.
Come on.
Now, I just found something related to the serial thing.
Huh?
I will, let's see how I can send this copy.
Breaking news, people. Where's the sound effect? Breaking news. Dun, 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 dun.
All right.
That's Morse code.
This just in.
Justin, I'm going to
Breaking
send
news.
this over to you.
Just share your screen.
Yeah. Just go to settings on the bottom. Just share screen. Then click on the Windows tab.
Okay.
Come on, you should know this.
Wait. Share screen. I'm using a computer.
Make
I
sure-
don't use much. So
I'm using a computer.
I'm glad you're using a computer.
No, but then I'm
Not
not
an
used to.
abacus.
All right. Let's see. Where'd I go? I'm using Chrome.
Facts.
Wait,
Present.
you have an Apple laptop and you're
Yes.
using Chrome?
Oh no, here it is. So I just have. What is it? I need to enable screen recording. Quit and reopen. I have
Well-
to quit this in order to do it.
Okay,
Okay.
send it to me.
Just oh my god.
On
We
the
have to
very
teach-
right side.
We
there's
got
a
to teach
private
you when
chat.
you get here.
Put it
at the
there.
office one day.
Very right
Well-
side of the menu. It
I
says
see
private
it.
chat.
All right, here we go.
There you go. While he's sending it on his DSL fax line, okay. So Serial, we talked about Dieter, we talked about Andor, we talked about. Oh, that's so cool! Yo, Disney's gotta be all over this.
What do you mean?
This is Star Wars, the official Star Wars.
This
No,
is
no,
the
I meant
official
like
Star Wars.
actually making these products.
Okay, but first off, they just say use blue cereal. Where the fuck am I gonna find blue cereal?
That's
Like,
what I'm
I
saying.
just
They
have
should be-
that?
They should have like a package, a
Yeah, they
Star
should.
Wars breakfast package, milk, bars, cereal. Here you go.
Yes.
It will sell like hotcakes.
Yeah.
Don't you agree?
I
Oh
agree.
yeah,
I'll buy it.
I do.
Right?
I wonder, does
just-
Galaxy's Edge have that?
I was gonna say, what about Galaxy's Edge? Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm talking about every Walmart.
Yeah.
That's millions
Okay,
of dollars you're printing, right? Then you can actually afford aliens in your show, right? You get aliens in your show. Why not? Who else are we missing in this show here? Luthen is nowhere to be
We didn't
found.
get any Luthen.
He's
Yeah,
in
that's
hiding.
it.
That boy's in trouble. Does he? I can't remember because I don't remember Rogue One as much. Is he in Rogue One at all?
No.
So this boy is gonna die.
I think
Well,
so.
He might die, but also Rogue One is kind of above what we've seen him actually do. Sure, he like coordinates with senators and all that, but Rogue One was about the construction of the Death Star. It was like the big mission that the rebel undertook.
I'm
And
wondering-
so I think it's above his pay grade.
I'm wondering if Mon Mothma kills him.
Oh.
Because if he gets close from the Empire, her cover is gonna get blown. So she's like, I'm just gonna get rid of him.
Well, she leaves pretty close after this, so I don't think she's worried about her cover.
And
Like,
I think
she
this is a perfect time to
publicly
segue
denounces
into
it.
Mon Mothma now, her story.
Yeah.
That would be a big leap. I don't know if she do. She doesn't strike me
Is
as the
it?
sort of
Is
person
it?
that would
Is
do
it?
that.
Is it? I'm trying to make this show interesting, guys. So I'm trying to create storylines that I would like to see. Okay?
I've
They should have
enjoyed
let
the
me
show,
write
but
this shit.
But the last two episodes, I understand your point of view. It's slow.
You gotta
It's
create
very
these
slow.
uneasiness for people to get attached to these shows. This is what's missing from this show, in my opinion. You have to create this unsettling easiness of no one is safe and people will die in this show.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I think that's how you if you're gonna make a prequel, that's how you have to make it entertaining. Anyone that you thought you would be slightly attached to or you thought was safe, every episode they're dead. That's how you keep people on edge, in my opinion. That's how you're gonna keep me on edge.
They
If
did that
everybody's
for,
safe and honky dory, I don't care about the show then.
They did do that for like the heist. We had
Mm-hmm.
the build up to it. We had scenes where there's infighting, like not just yelling, like straight up pulling knives or guns on each other. There was the TIE fighter that flew so close. I love that, and the sound of it. And then when the event actually happened, the heist, we had nearly every single person who was involved die, including someone getting crushed in a painful way.
I hear you, but okay, let me put it in a different way. You're arguably your big five are Andor, you have Luthen, you have Mon Mothma, you have Deidre, and who's your fifth?
Sarah.
Yeah, Sarah. Sorry, yeah, Sarah. There you go.
Sarah.
So those are your five.
Yeah.
4 of them have to die for me to be interested in this show. Not all of them in this season, because there's a season 2 coming out. But if I don't see, of the 4, besides Andor, of the 4, if I don't see 2 of them die before this season, I'm not interested, because this is what you need. You need the big boys to fall.
Yeah. Yep.
Game of Thrones did it. Game of Thrones killed 90% of their main leads, and they said, don't worry, we'll find more leads. You like them, but too bad, we got rid of all of them. Right?
Yeah, I think
you need to do that, I think, for this prequel, for people to say, oh, okay, this is interesting. You just killed off some of the big boys here. Those other guys that you talk about, they are interesting, but they are not the big 5 that's running the show, right?
I think to give interest in season 2, I think everyone but Andor and Mon Mothma will die.
Yeah, I think you have to. Like, Deidre needs to go and stab him the next time he tries to grab her in the middle of the public. Take him to the apartment, say, done, he's out. And then you see him bleeding over, and then the body bag shows up at his mom's door. That's awesome. That's awesome. The body bag just shows
Cyril
up.
needs to go postal and kill his mom.
Or
and that's when his
he's eating cereal.
That's when his rampage starts.
No.
He kills his mom.
I got a better.
He goes to
I got
ISB. He kills Deidre because she won't go on a date with him or whatever.
That would be cool too. But I think the other thing is you just break into his mom's house. You kill the mom first. He discovers that, and then he goes and blows up the building after.
I think he'd be happy with that.
That would be crazy because you set him off now, right?
I don't know if that set him off. I think he'd be like, oh, relief.
No, somebody just tips the bowl of cereal over, and he's like, "That's it, I had it." That was my favorite bowl of cereal, and you just tipped it over.
My blue milk.
Blue milk, no.
Yep.
Don't cry over spilled
milk. You know how far I had to walk in Coruscant to get that milk? No, but yeah, you need something crazy, man. Like they're just so afraid to make crazy Star Wars shows. I need brutality.
We saw that for a while at the start, but it slowed down, I think. But like at the very first episode where we see Andor straight up execute someone just because he might tell on him.
Yeah, that's great. That's awesome.
No, that was great. I think though the show now, especially because of the prison scene, has just slowed to a point where next episode needs to be even, in my opinion, it needs to be better than the heist. It needs to have a step up to make it worth waiting this long now. And then I don't really know what they're going to do with the remaining episodes, because then we're going to have 2 more to go after their escape.
Yeah.
What do you guys think will happen?
Well, okay.
I think the focus will be hunting down him now.
Yeah. Maybe it might be the end of this episode, because also too, I'm remembering from Clone Wars, Wolf Yularen and Admiral Thrawn worked together. So I think maybe after the prison break, or maybe they realize. I think we talked about this last episode. I think I mentioned that I was like, maybe they realize that Andor's in the prison, and then they go, "Oh fuck, we already have him here. Okay, let's go get him."
Mm-hmm. And then the prison breaks Imperials when they get there. Yeah.
Well, the Imperials figure out that he's there, and then that's why they have a reason. That's why Luthen has a reason to rescue Andor, is because the Imperials have realized that they already have him in the prison. So then he has to go, fuck, okay, I got to go back to Saw Gerrera and be like, yo, I'll give you everything. I need your air support. We got to go break this cunt out of a prison. We need to do this. And that's when
maybe it's already happening. Or maybe that's already happening right now.
Yeah. Well, the last time we saw them, they were like, no, we can't do this. Or because they just have, I loved the kind of jab he throws at him when they first start talking, and he's like, yeah, how's it going fighting with people who you agree with? And he's just like, you motherfucker, to Saw Gerrera. And then I think that prison break goes tits up. They get Andor out, and then Wolf Yularen goes, okay, we need backup. I'm gonna bring in my homie, this blue skin motherfucker, who will figure this shit out. Then, because he's so into studying people's traditions and cultures, then we get a callback to the first episode where we learned of where like Andor's tribe and where he came from. So then Thrawn comes in, learns about, his family, the tribe that he brought in, the old lady who Deidre was like, oh, I'm not going to interrogate her. She's too old and frail. We'll just use her as bait. And then Thrawn comes and goes, no, we need to learn everything about her because she's actually really important. He's the only reason why he's coming back with money and shit. And then he starts like getting to the nitty gritty of everyone that's involved, because right now everyone who Andor interacts with is like, they know him, but they're not like, these are important pieces. Because right now the ISB is like, I don't know where he is. We talked to everyone he knows. We got a little bit of information, but we don't really know. I think they bring in Thrawn, and then he goes, nope, these are important. We need to bleed them dry until he shows up. And then he is the key to bringing in Axis and blah, 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 and all this. And that's how they up the ante of this, of the prison break episode compared to the heist episode. So it's not just a prison break, it's a prison break and a big thing.
I don't know if they're gonna have Thrawn at all in this show, because I think they're saving it for the Ahsoka show.
But why would they bring in Wolf Yularen?
I don't know. I just don't think Thrawn's showing up in this show at all, because you want to save this guy for the main interest, which is Ahsoka and Ezra Miller. Not Ezra Miller. Ezra, what's her name?
Ezra Miller.
Ezra? Is it Ezra?
Ezra. Yeah, it's Ezra.
I think they're saving it for that show. They're not going to bring him into this show.
It might be just a teaser, though.
It might be a teaser because...
Yeah, I mean, they could name drop.
But so here's the thing. I think that they will bring Thrawn in because the people who watch live action are not the same people that watch the animations, which is why they brought in Ahsoka into Book of Boba Fett. That didn't need to happen, but she's getting her own show. So then they needed to plant those seeds and being like, yo, this is a fucking cool person. And then everyone's like, whoa, who's this? Then they go back and look up and do research if they want and figure out and watch Clone Wars and stuff. So I think for Thrawn, because the people who are going to watch Ahsoka are just going to be like, who's this blue motherfucker? But if they start showing him in this, then they go, oh, that guy. Oh, he's a bad guy. He's a badass. I know about him. Or else the Ahsoka show is going to be 6 episodes of explaining who the fuck Thrawn is. But if they start it here and kind of learn his tactics and learn that he's a fucking badass motherfucker, then when Ahsoka show starts, you go, okay, I already know who Ahsoka is. She's a guy who knows Luke Skywalker and is cool and fights a Mandalorian guy. She's badass. And then you go, oh, who's this blue guy? Oh, that's that guy from this. Okay, I know that he's cool, calm and collected and really hard. Cool. I think that makes sense because it's kind of what they've been doing, what they did with Ahsoka.
Nathan?
I don't know if they bring it in this episode.
No, I think they're gonna do something like that too.
I just don't know if they're gonna release Thrawn in this. But I hear what you're saying. It could happen.
It is kind of unlikely, but I do think that they will give us something at the end. Someone that the fans, Star Wars fans, not just like surface level fans, but actual Star Wars fans know. Partly to get us excited for it and go like, wow, this is a big conclusion, but also to set up the next big show that Disney wants to produce.
Yeah. Also, too, in Tales of the Jedi, Kanan was in it.
I haven't finished Tales of the Jedi, so I haven't seen him yet.
He's a Padawan. He's a young kid in one of the scenes. Kanan, the guy who
we were supposed to watch that and talk about that, right?
We were.
I totally missed the boat on that one too.
That's okay.
My apologies on that.
It's really good. It's pretty good.
Can we, Nathan, make sure that we watch it?
Yeah,
talk about it soon.
I'll have some time tomorrow to do it. Okay. So
I'll be playing Call of Duty the next couple of days. So
are you live streaming it?
No, I'm gonna be doing a quick review of it for our AGR. Maybe this is the time to plug it.
Yes.
We have an AGR sister channel where we talk about all things video games, and we have a podcast that we drop every Sunday morning or Sunday morning somewhere in the world. So yeah, we pick a game generally and kind of talk about it. And this week we're talking about Modern Warfare. You guys are welcome to join us anytime you want. We do it on Friday nights at 9:30, pre-recording, but we drop it on Sunday morning after we edit the podcast. It'll
Do
be
you know what
on
I think
our
we should do?
what?
All three of us, we should play the Old Republic.
Wait,
Alvin
the
could
Old
go
Republic
through
or Knights of the Old Republic?
the Old Republic, because Knights of the Old Republic is only single player. But the
Okay.
Old Republic, that way, you and I assume, Justin, you actually have like some characters ready.
Yeah, I've got a.
Yeah.
I think I have a max level. Yeah, I would start a new
so do I.
character.
And well, even the base characters though, we can just go to whatever Alvin decides
Yeah, we can just
to
power
do.
level Elvin.
Yeah, because it scales us down, so that way we can all play
Oh, that's
together,
right, yeah.
and we'll have scaled down characters, and Alvin can go through the story, and we can live stream it.
Yep.
He's thinking this game is too old to live stream.
No,
they
that'd be
just
pretty
put
cool.
out
I've never. I'm all about the Old Republic. I love that stuff.
It's
that's
Star
when it
Wars.
was
WoW.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's brutality times, right? Barbaric times.
There's some Revan shit in there too.
Oh,
You get
yeah,
to
love
meet
me
a
some
Revan
Revan,
cult.
man. I love me
Actually,
some
you get to
Revan.
fight him.
I read the book and I was like
Don't spoil it.
mind blown. I love.
He's not in the game at all.
What?
Not totally not in the game.
Nothing.
Can't buy his robes either.
Nope.
What?
Nothing. It's fine.
Okay.
I literally just started thinking about the Thrawn integration and like 10-15 minutes ago, and like I'm starting to be like, no, I think that's how they.
I don't
up
think
the
so.
ante.
I think there's no way Thrawn's coming in this show. But if they name drop, cool. But I don't think they're gonna reveal him. I think
they
it's too
might.
big of a character to reveal in this show.
Yeah, but
Especially
But
when Ahsoka says his name in The Mandalorian.
but that's
That
the hint.
basically
And
sets up.
again, I know that they do things in the live action because the people who are watching the live action don't watch the Clone Wars. So they're giving reasons for those people to go and watch the Clone Wars. That's why they put Ahsoka in there. They just were like, here, and also too, because it was 2 episodes that felt nothing like the rest of the show. So they were like, we need to put this bitch in here somewhere so that it gives them a reason to go watch our other shows. And I think they might do that
He
with
just
Thrawn.
sticks out like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
In a show where it's all human based, he just really sticks out. It just doesn't feel organic for this show to see that character show up out of nowhere. Even in the so by the way, we didn't mention that during Mon Mothma's speech, everybody turning off their lights.
I loved that.
So that's hilarious.
Well, because
everywhere lights are turning off.
and it's just like it's showing how
You kind of feel bad for her, right?
Yeah, it's showing how the Senate is just slowly deteriorating, and like it doesn't matter.
They're all falling into Palpatine's line, right?
Yeah, and like from the conversation that she had at the last dinner party when she was like, again, the real life allegories where like they're talking about Palpatine and they're like, well, he makes us feel safe, and then one person was like, he just says what's on his mind, and it's like, Jesus Christ,
it was hilarious.
Palpatine is Trump.
But I was waiting for somebody to go, "You go, girl."
Yeah, he just says what's on his mind. He's he's so honest. And
fake
it's like,
news.
It's a bit weird to me though that I thought, or at least previously, I thought that the Senate was getting a bit more not rebellious, but a bit more outspoken and against Palpatine generally, and that's why Palpatine thought, the Death Star. This is why it's really needed. But
this was definitely
this
was like the White House, the clear divide there. Right? There's no harmonious decision. It's all complete left or right divide here. Right?
Yeah, it's very much like, oh well, he's keeping us safe, and they're like, but what at what cost? And then it was just like, well, I feel in danger. Oh, you feel in danger of having too many delicious drinks.
So apparently there was a cameo in there of what do you call it? What's his name? George Lucas. So I was watching one of the YouTubers, and he did. So in that scene, they do a close up of these 2 people sitting on a pod, or one of
Mhm.
those floating devices, and they're moving there. One of them was supposed to be George Lucas's character that he played in the original Star Wars scene when they're the Senate scene.
That's funny.
Yeah, he was painted in blue and he has a cloak and everything. So they're saying that was a nod to him.
Oh,
You want to put that up?
this guy. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
If you can put that up, Justin, that'd be cool.
Get to my other monitor. This fucking guy. He was in the background of one of the Senate things.
Yeah. So he was one of those guys you could see in the. I wish I had a picture of it, but you could see him. It wasn't George Lucas, but it was a nod to him.
Well,
Yeah.
just like in the episode 2, I think it was, where one of the Senate bubbles that they had were a bunch of ETs.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, I can't see any, but that's cool. Yeah, like this show so far has had very little, not callbacks, but like very little cameos. I mean, obviously, like,
I don't want
Saw Gerrera.
For me, what I would love is okay. You don't want to give cameos because it costs too much. I get it. You're on a budget, but a name drop doesn't cost you a lot. Connecting the dots to another planet that we recognize doesn't cost you a lot.
Well, they're kind of doing that. They've thrown
Are they?
Belsavis
Are
in
they
there.
like what do they do this?
But also
episode that
too,
you're like,
the opposite could be said is again, we haven't seen a desert planet. They haven't gone to fucking Tatooine.
no, yeah,
So like,
which is great because you know, sand is not for everybody, but
I don't like sand.
especially not for
It's
Anakin.
rough and gets everywhere.
But I just feel like they were trying to make a show that was separate from everything else that was out there.
Yeah,
And I get it, and kudos for them to try to do that because we don't want the same over and over again. But I also feel that you cannot neglect the whole connective tissue of Star Wars.
sure.
You got to throw us a bone here and there of connection.
Well, I mean,
to the bigger picture, right? Palpatine was great. They mentioned him. That was good.
Yeah.
Right. You're saying that Thrawn will be mentioned, and if they do that, boom, mind blown.
I mean, we got Wolf Yularen. Like, I think there's enough. While I agree with you that it is, this show is trying to stand on its own 2 legs, and I give them credit for that. They're not being like, "Hey, remember this guy? Remember this thing? We're part of this cool club, right? Remember?"
I mean, I don't want to slap in the face kind of
I know,
thing.
yeah, I know.
Compared to the Book of Boba that had to rely on that for 2 whole episodes.
Yeah, that's the only fucking reason to watch that show.
Oh my god.
It's trying to stand on its own 2 feet and it's trying to do something different, but it's not. It's tough because I agree that there are parts that could use more references to make it feel cohesive with the entire universe. But then on the opposite side, we've seen how that is done poorly. And it's just like, okay, I get it. Tatooine's here. Fuck. I know you're Star Wars. So like, here's the thing though, while I'm watching the show, I'm not yearning for things like that. When they do get a couple things like, oh, that's Wolf Yularen. Oh, fuck, cool. Or, oh, Belsavis. Oh, that was from a thing. And like anytime we get to Luthen's place, it's like, oh, there's the gun thing. Oh, there's Starkiller. Like, so, yeah, I think
it's very subtle. Yeah,
it is. But also, too, I think this is probably a sign that Disney doesn't have a lot of fucking say-so in this show, or else it would be littered with that kind of thing. Because Tony Gilroy is just being like, I'm telling a story. Here's a story. Here's my story. I'm focusing on these people. Here's the big 5. We're talking about these fucking people, okay? And then Disney's like, hey, could you put a Jar Jar in there? And he's like, fuck you. And they're like, okay.
Well,
Nathan, what do you think? Like, what are your thoughts?
Solution to make it feel more like Star Wars, more non-humans. I need more things that actually remind me that this is Star Wars.
Yeah.
And it doesn't need to be big name drops. It doesn't need to be cameos. It just needs to have a feel of Star Wars, and you can achieve that without. Oh yeah.
Speaking of cameos, the Shore Troopers.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know who voiced them?
No idea.
Are you gonna say what's his name, the actor for Jango Fett? No, they don't
No.
use clones anymore.
No.
Well, who?
It's Sam Witwer.
Don't know
The
who
guy
that
who
is.
voiced and did the mocap for Star Killer, the guy who's the voice of Darth Maul.
That dude. Yes. Okay. Yeah.
He's the voice of a few of the Shore Troopers, the one who arrests
Nice.
Andor.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I like that.
That's cool. Yeah, he was also in Smallville too.
Yeah,
He was
he's
Doomsday in Smallville.
I
remember that.
Wait a minute.
I remember him.
Store timeline is Darth.
Okay, well, while you're mulling that, what about the big reveal where the cousin is what's her name?
Val. And
was that ever disclosed, or is that supposed to be a shock value?
It's kind of shock value because I think it was kind of implied, or a lot of people thought that she was related to Luthen.
Well, that's what I thought too.
So it's again, this is cool seeing the discourse in the rebellion and all the people on the good side is like Mon Mothma hates what Luthen's doing, and
I don't think she knows that she works.
That's her cousin. No, I think she does because
no, I don't.
She's
think
like,
so.
what is she having? What is he? She said, what is he having you do?
Oh, really? I didn't miss that part.
They had when they were talking, and she was like,
Nathan, can you verify that?
When they were talking,
I don't think she knows.
I think she does because they're talking in very vague terms, but she was like, we're doing good things. This is for the greater good kind of thing. And she was like, I don't like this. So I think that she knows.
But she's telling her, hey, you're rich, be rich the whole time.
Yeah. Well, she's essentially, it's just like, yo, you need to work on your alibi. Yeah. Like, you need to be a spoiled rich
they
girl
both
right
come
now.
from a wealthy family background.
Yeah.
So that's crazy how
I love the fact that it just showed even more like Mon Mothma's husband, how little he knows, and he's just like, when are you gonna get a husband? And she's like, it's not on the fucking itinerary because he's just like, whatever. And then he was just a big fuck you where he was just like, well, find someone who's got a dead wife because all the good ones have been taken. And she's like, okay, yeah, like has no idea that she's
Mothma's
gay.
just like giggling in the background, right?
Yeah.
And then the other fact is like how the husband just tells the daughter that was the mom's ex.
Yeah,
and she's
exactly.
like, what are you talking about? We're just childhood friends. What are you talking about?
Also, too, the fact that he's like, yeah, it's her old boyfriend. It's like, motherfucker, y'all were married at 15.
Yeah. The term old.
Yeah, old boyfriend. Yeah, when she was 13, she went, ew, gross boys. Oh, boyfriend.
Yeah, I thought it was a little weird. It's a sign of jealousy. That's all it is.
Oh, yeah. No, he's just a fucking big ego.
They haven't died yet, though. We had predicted that the daughter and husband will die. Haven't died yet, so there's optimism for that.
Maybe he hasn't gotten caught doing anything yet.
Yeah, maybe the IRS comes in, steals and kidnaps her family, and then she's like, I don't give a fuck.
Let's rank. We talked about the big five. We know Andor's going to make it through. We know Mothma's going to make it through. At least 3 of the big 5 on the board. Luthen, Serial, and Deidre. Of the 3, rank them in who dies first to last. Rank the 3 of them. They're all 3 will die eventually.
Yeah, I think everyone dies this season.
Because you never hear a sniff of them in anywhere else.
No.
Right? So rank who dies first, second, and then the last. Go ahead, Nathan. You want to try first?
Luthen, I think. I think he's going to die.
So he's going to die first, you think?
Yeah.
Who's that?
Then Cyril.
And then Deidre last.
Yeah, then I think she's going to be last because she technically is the most important at this stage. She's the most important person for like focusing on Andor and tracking him down.
Yeah.
I think Cyril will die before her. just because he's lower ranked, he's not as important to the storyline as her. And Luthen, I think we're gonna have him die in some way. They've discovered really who he is and what he's been doing, and they go after him. And during the fight or whatever happens, he gets killed.
Oh, Justin had a brainstorm.
Maybe he dies in the prison break.
Who?
And then
Luthen.
Maybe he goes, we got to go get him. Because
why would he go to the prison break? Why not just get Saul Guerrero to do that?
Well, because he's
beneath that. He's not going to go there.
Because the last episode he was talking to Leda about like I'm just sick of fucking hiding, sick of laying low. So maybe he's like,
that's why he
goes
to see Saul Guerrero.
Yeah, but he then goes and then he's just like, I'm sick of laying low. This guy knows information, and the Empire now knows he's there. We got to go in and get him. And he's like, we don't have enough people, and he's like, I'll go. Fuck it.
Yeah, he might.
Okay, and then he gets his book back, Andor, and then he takes up the slack. He picks up the slack for Luthen, and then he goes, okay, the Empire's fucked. We got to do this, and then he gets integrated.
Okay, so
with
rank it 3, 1 to 3.
So I think Luthen dies first.
So same as Nathan.
Yeah. And then I think Cyril goes postal, and then suicide bombs something, kills his mom. And then he goes, fuck it. Then we finally see Tatooine. He goes to Tatooine, sees his uncle, shoots him in the head. And then
this uncle doesn't show up yet, right? The uncle.
No, he shows up because he's just like, you made my mom an asshole.
What if the uncle's is a code name for Thrawn? Oh,
sure.
His uncle's Thrawn.
No, his uncle is a Tusken Raider. His uncle's Boba Fett. His uncle is this cunt.
What? Oh, what's his name? What is his name again? I can't remember.
Fake Boba Fett.
Fake Boba.
What's his name? Who was married to Angelina Jolie? Billy Bob Thornton.
No, that's not Billy Bob. Stop it.
His uncle is
Okay, so I'm gonna give my 3. Okay, I'm gonna give my 3.
What's the German guy's name from Book of Boba Fett? I would like to see the baby.
Hans.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna rank my 3. I think it's gonna be Cyril first, Lutheran second, and then Deidre.
By that order.
Actually, no.
Yeah, why?
No. Cyril first, Deidre second, and then Lutheran. That's my order.
How do you think Cyril's going to die first?
I think he's just going to die because he's just frustrated the fact that nobody is listening to him.
I do like that as an episode title. The No One's Listening.
Oh yeah.
Because that's like applicable to Cyril. That was applicable to Deidre before, and that's definitely applicable to Andor.
I think that Deidre will kill him.
Kill Cyril?
Yeah, I think she's gonna put an end to him, put a bullet to his head. I think because he's gonna lose it, and she sees it, and she's like, "I don't have time for this. Let's put a bullet to his head, finish him off, get him out of here." Right?
Yeah, loose end.
Yeah,
and then his mom goes, "Oh no, my baby boy! I loved you. You were such a good boy."
I think Deidre dies at the hands of Andor. Andor finishes her off because I don't know. They seem like they're going to be clashing at some point.
Sure.
Right? And I think she dies trying to track him down. And I think Lutheran dies at the end, and then the book gets passed to him. Season 2 goes on.
Yeah, I think season 2 is.
I think season 2 you're going to see a fresh new cast.
I think season 2 is mostly going to be an assassin show, because that's when we see Andor joining the rebels and being their like assassin.
Yep.
So I think it's going to be much more of like a 007 season.
So yeah, those are my 3 in that order, and we'll see. We'll take a look, and as we progress, how this is going to happen. Can you imagine all 3 of them are still alive in season 2?
Yeah, that'd be weird.
That would not be good. I think you need to have a devastating ending in some ways.
We're getting
Yeah,
those breakfast scenes, season 2.
Yeah,
More of this, more cereal.
I got another promotion.
Who do you want to see, or where do you want to go in season 2? That will make you happy. Where would you like to see them go somewhere? A planet that is in Star Wars that you know and you want to see them there? Or do you want to see a specific character show up that you think will make you happy?
I think we will get an episode in season 2 where we see a lot of Bothans die. Because they retconned where they got the Death Star plans, and during that heist in Rogue One, we didn't see a single Bothan. So I think season 2, they are obligated to have a Bothan massacre.
A Boston Massacre?
Yeah, we're gonna get what's his name? Bill Burr back.
Yeah, Bill Burr.
And there's gonna be a
I need him
Boston
back.
massacre.
I need him back. I love Bill Burr.
I fucking love Bill Burr.
I need him back.
Do you know? I don't know if we're gonna see the Bothans because they're non-humans, and that's a lot of
money, a lot of
money that they
No,
haven't.
But that's something that Mon Mothma said in Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, but
I think they are obligated to show that because in Rogue One we didn't see a single Bothan, so they have to show like the precursor to the Death Star plans, and they have to show a bunch of Bothans dying for them to be like, oh, okay, there it is. I think it's a gimme for a writer's room. It's just like, okay, guys, episode 5, we need to find a way to kill a shitload of Bothans.
Nathan, a place or a person or a thing
that's tricky
that you like to see.
I do want to see new planets.
Mm-hmm.
However, I would be down for the underbelly of Coruscant.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I'd be down for like the lower levels just to see if he's going to be an assassin, he's got to do some underworld stuff.
1313 shit.
Yeah. Although it wouldn't be with the Hutts because the Hutts work with the Empire.
Yeah.
And then for characters,
would Cal Kestis be in this? Does the timeline match up?
He's that's a good point. If that's the only lightsaber we see,
I want to see that. That's my choice.
Or the only
if the
Jedi
timeline matches, yeah,
that'd be interesting for sure. I think it would be a good character to have in there. I don't want to see any of like the A-list Star Wars characters.
No, I don't think you're gonna get that. I don't think.
Yeah, and I don't think we will either. But if they do, I would be very disappointed.
Maybe name drop, but you're not gonna get that. Oh.
Yeah,
I would like to see Diego Luna insult a Jedi. Oh, look at you guys all on your ivory tower. It's a good thing that we have you guys doing nothing.
Yeah.
Like I would love to have him just shit on Jedis.
Where were you when the Republic fell? Sort of.
It's nice of you guys to show up finally, huh? I just love the way he talks. He's awesome.
Yeah, he's got some good lines. He's a very well fleshed out character.
Yeah.
Don't
worry. While you guys sit here, we're gonna go save the world or the universe.
I still love how they're consistent with Andor with his opinion on the Empire and just like the main line that was in a bunch of the trailers, which was like, they're too confident. They don't give a shit. They're just fat and happy, and they can't imagine someone like me would just walk in and spit in their food and take their gear or whatever. And when he was talking with Andy Serkis, he was just like convincing him of that, because like the Empire has done such a good job of just like showing their power and like just big dicking themselves around and just being like, we're the end all be all. We're the judge, jury, and executioner. We listen and do whatever. Yes, Darth Gutierrez. Oh, we both clicked on you at the same time.
Don't worry, you're never late. We're gonna always have this episode up. You can always replay it too.
Hey, watch the whole thing.
Yeah, we are concluding it right now.
Happy Day of the Dead.
Yeah, we are concluding with our overall marks here. What do you guys give it out of 10? Nathan?
I'm going to give it another 6.5. And this one I'm going to consider generous. A generous 6.5. Really, I think it should normally be a 6. But I think that the pacing was a little faster than last time.
Mhm.
In terms of there's more of a consequence, more of a buildup. Oh, look, these are the ways we can get out of the prison. Look, there's no way we're actually going to get out. There's the rumor that they killed the whole floor. I found that a little bit more exciting.
More suspense,
yeah, a little bit more. But really, that was basically all that interested me. Everything else was very slow.
Justin?
I will give this one an 8. I watched the episode last night, and then I went back and I watched the previous episode, and then watched the new episode again. And again, Disney. Ellen's about to take a dump on the show. He has been this whole time.
I have been gophering this one.
And
the loincloth are about to touch.
I think the last 2 episodes flow together really good, and I feel like this UK TV, British TV has figured it out when it comes to long form series. And take like a show like Sherlock, for example, where they'd go like, we're gonna make 2 seasons. They're going to be an hour and 45-minute long episodes. Some of them are going to be an hour long. But here is this story. There's going to be 3 or 4 episodes per season. And then once we've told the story, we're fucking done. We're going to go make a vampire show or something. Like, we have a story. We're going to tell it. Disney needs to do something like that with this. This show would be so much like, this would be a perfect show if the first 3 episodes were a 2-hour mini movie, then the next 3 episodes were another 2-hour thing, and you can do that once every week. And then these 3 episodes, the prison episodes, that's another 2-hour movie.
Yep.
Had they done this, this would have been, everyone would have been losing their shit about the show. Every person would have been, because the only thing that anyone has a problem with this is it has a slow build, which I agree, but I think they are doing it well, because, and I'm going off of the buildup for the prison heist. While I could see, yes, I understand that you are saying, yes, these 2 establishing episodes are slow and they are a bit of a ramp up, the payoff was worth it. And I'm expecting the prison heist breakout or whatever to absolutely be worth it and be better than the bank heist. And
okay, fair enough.
The suspense that I got from this one was more so than the last episode, and they flowed together perfectly. But I do think that they should have been 1 episode.
Do you know what? If I got to binge from the start of the prison sequences all the way until the escape, and the escape was better than the heist, then I'll completely agree. I'd change my ranking. But as it is right now with the format that Disney has given us, with 1 episode per week, I agree. It's slow because of that.
Yep.
Can I ask you guys a question? So they don't know that anyone, like the prison people, the inmates there, they've never seen anyone being released, right?
True.
This old guy is. What's that?
I think the way they made it sound like is they do release people. But when they get released, they're sent off to a different prison block where
I see. Okay.
No,
that way the
planet,
people different planets. So that way the people in the prison
there's that
are under the
assumption
assumption
still there that okay, gotcha.
Because that way at least they stay motivated. Like, okay, I'll get out of here sometime.
Okay.
Yeah. Or I think it might be like the prison block that he's in, that's everyone's first offender. And then another planet, because that's what everyone in that prison believes. And then the second planets, like Belsavis or whatever, they just go, oh, okay, that's why this one is so lax. The next one, everyone has guns. There's more funding in it. And everyone knows, oh, yeah, you're just slaves forever and you can't ever escape. So then everyone has guns. They have nothing but like fucking battle droids, like guarding everyone. And they are 100% a slave colony.
Okay. I'm gonna give it a 4.5 out of 10.
Wow.
Is that the lowest?
Yeah.
Is it the lowest?
Oh yeah. You've not given anything.
Here's why. I'll give my reason because I don't want to spit out numbers and not give actual reasons for it.
Mhm.
I'm giving it 4.5, lower than the last week's episode because I expected this week to be better, and it didn't. It actually tailed off even more. I'm tired of seeing them make Tesla parts. I'm not here to see them mechanically make parts. I wanted the prison break to happen. I don't want to wait 3 episodes to
Mhm.
see what I should have seen from the beginning. Like I knew it's coming. Just give it to me. I don't need you to
Sure.
waste another episode. The Mon Mothma, her crying in front of the Senate. I did feel a little bit emotional. I'm like, yeah, no one's listening to her, but we've already seen her cry to the Senate before, so they just did another retake of it. Cough too. Deidre and Serial's relationship, it's weird. I'm just not interested anymore. How many times do we have to see them sit in the office and in the Oval Office, whatever, and talk about things they're going to do? I just see a lot of dialogue happening, and I get it. There is supposed to be dialogue here. It's a political thing, but it's just not doing it for me. Like this show is not getting me on edge, and I gave some of the reasons during their show why I like to see them do some certain things to put me on edges. You got to kill off some of these big boys here now.
Mhm.
You're getting near the end of your show. You got to have these jaw-dropping moments because if you don't, what did you do all this time then? You just showed a bank heist and that's about it. If this prison heist is not going to go down as one of the best things in the show, then it's a complete failure this season. There's nothing there to grasp onto.
Mhm.
What are we watching here? We've already highlighted many times that lack of aliens and a lack of changes in and similarities of what we want to see in Star Wars, like the connective tissues. We don't see any of this stuff, right?
Mhm.
So we already. I don't want to repeat myself, but a 4.5 at best right now. This show is not doing it for me, and I'm disappointed because I'm tired of seeing garbage spitting out by Disney, and I think they already know this because they are firing people. Hopefully, Kathleen Kennedy's next. One can only pray that she gets fired and never sets foot at Disney's evil empire towers ever again because she's just destroying Star Wars. I don't know what to say, man. Honestly, like I'm not trying to poo-poo on Justin here. I know you like it a
Oh,
lot.
it's fine. I have a
but-
question for you though.
Yeah.
So while I can understand and see your point of this episode being you were wanting action in this one, I was 100% expecting more build up, and I essentially got what I was expecting on this episode.
I wasn't just looking for action. I was looking for results.
Sure.
I'm looking for payoffs here.
Yeah.
Six episodes in, I need payoffs now.
Yes.
I need devastation. I need something going on.
Now,
like Bix should have been dead. They should have killed her off.
sure.
That's a payoff.
And I mean, as far as we know, she's brain dead. It's pretty much a new like Bukalit, where she's just like brain dead. But Andy Serkis's character,
Omar.
and this some people might say that this is me defending Star Wars or whatever.
Andy
which is
Serkis
fine.
being in the show is so weird for me because
Well,
he's
yeah,
he's such a great A-list actor, and I'm just like,
But-
dude, what are you doing in this show? It's not doing you
because
any
he's
favors.
about to. I mean, he's already contracted to be in Star Wars because he was Snoke. So Andy Serkis's character being the manager of the floor, the fact that he was essentially Andor's adversary, even though they are both prisoners and the Empire is squashing them both, the fact that they had one episode where he was his adversary, and I think not the payoff, and I'm not saying like, oh, this was the build up and this was totally worth it because this happened, but at the very end, after 2 episodes of Andor being like, yo, we're on the same side, we need to escape, and he's just like, we can't, I'm trying to get out of here, trying to get out of here. And then when they both realize that, oh, the Empire, we're fucked in here, like the Empire, we don't have a say in this and we're going to be here forever. The fact that he flipped at the very end and immediately was just like, when they both came to that realization, and he was like, they don't have more than 12 soldiers per floor. The fact that he flipped and is now on the side of Andor, I think in the next episode when they are working together makes that way more valuable story wise. If they had have just been like, oh, they're two prisoners, oh, they're going to plan an escape, oh, they do the escape, now they're escaped, I wouldn't have given a fuck about Andy's, apart from it being Andy Serkis. I would not have given a shit about his character. But the fact that there was that progression and evolution of his character and his reasoning, and the fact that now he is like had such a dynamic change in his opinion and his reasonings for living and what he's doing, now the fact that they are working together is going to have so much more gravity.
But here's the
in the
thing,
next
though.
episode.
How did Andy Serkis' character become the manager? Like, why even be in that position?
Good behavior.
But why?
They're trying to give us a real account of how Snoke was created. He started off as a prisoner.
I was thinking about that actually. I
Oh,
was like,
man. Okay, we're not getting off on that. We're
No,
gonna be
no,
here
no.
forever.
It would probably be better than what Disney's already made.
Nathan, do you
I
want to
was-
add anything before we end it off? We'll talk. Leave that for next week. We'll leave that for next week. The
only
conspiracy
thing I'll-
theories will continue.
The only thing I'll leave off for my final words. I'm really I think the show is good so far. I think there's some moments that are slow, but so far good. They have a couple issues with world building in the case of there's not enough non-humans.
Mhm.
I'm really hoping that the next episode we're going to see a big escape, and then I think the final two. I hope they don't slow down. I hope they don't.
I don't think they're going to
bring it back.
Yeah.
They need to
I
keep
think
it.
it's going to be like Prison Break and then holy fuck.
Yeah, I'm open for that. I don't know yet though.
I need some people to die next episode.
Sure.
Andy Serkis'
Yeah.
character dies. One of the big five. Somebody
They
dies.
capture him and then they're like, oh, this guy's actually pretty cool. Let's clone him a bunch.
Yeah, I definitely want to see some tragedy happen next episode. We'll see. That's why we do it every week, right?
Yeah, every week.
Thank everybody for been watching our show. If you want to look us up on social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, blah, 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 go to A&R Universe. If you're new and you're watching us for the first time, show us some love, subscribe to our channel. And we're getting away prizes every month, so why not? It doesn't hurt. Click on the subscribe button, leave a comment, let us know what we should talk about. We just asked somebody in the chat, what do you guys want to talk about? Somebody said Willow, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to do Willow when it comes out. We always want to listen to what everybody has, their opinions and everything. So, yeah, thank you, everybody, and we'll see you next week at 9:45 p.m. Pacific time for episode 10 of Andor. Say bye, guys.
Say bye, Dio. May the
Adios.
force be with you.